Welcome to Sips with the Sorial. I'm Jenna.
I'm Danielle.
And I'm Dina.
We're just three best friends who like to get together and talk books. We would love for you to follow along with us each week, just like a book club. We tell you the week before what book we will be discussing so you can make sure you've read it. If you check out our Instagram, each of us likes to make art, so we will post our art interpretations for each book. Dina, what are we discussing today?
Today we're discussing A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas, which is book 4 in ACOTAR. Since it's a pretty long book, we're going to split it into two parts. So if you haven't read it yet, please pause, go read, because just like the cereal, we're spilling the tea. Who put to Z?
I think that was you, my love. I haven't
Oh my
touched this.
God.
That's hilarious.
I might have been
Tazzy.
drinking when I wrote this. Anyways, speaking of
Well,
tea,
you know what? Maybe Tazzy is the extra spice
gonna
that this
say.
book has.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so speaking of Tazzy, what are we sipping on, ladies?
Nesta's Fury, so you know that sucker's red and spicy.
Yep.
Red and spicy.
It's got some
Ooh.
jalapeno, some cranberry juice, some tequila, some Grand
Mm.
Marnier. Did I say it right?
I think it's Marnier, but
Oh,
sure.
whatever.
And
Oh,
also,
yeah.
Bob later on told me, what about agave? So mine has
You
agave
know,
too. So
tell
I'm
him
sorry,
he
Jenna.
can't add last minute
I need like
ingredients.
I need a full 24-hour preparation.
I
And I
know.
still got it wrong. I forgot my goddamn jalapeno and I was so mad.
I know
It's
he
not as
has a fully
spicy.
stocked bar, but
I know.
Before we hop in, can I say a quick thing that I
no.
found out at this my salon today?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So, as the three of us know, Sarah J, and I learned it's Moss from someone who
Oh,
Oh,
damn it.
Moss used to live in me and Danielle's town. Probably shouldn't have said that, but whatever. Um,
Cut.
used to.
used to. She doesn't live in it anymore. Um, and she used to go to the hair salon that I was at. And I'm like, which
Oh,
Jenna,
what?
what? She went to the same hair salon?
Yes, I thought I told you this.
I don't remember
And
this.
so the owner was like, because we were talking about our podcast and everything, and she was like, "Oh, like what book?" And I'm like, like the Court of Thorns and Roses series and like other things." And then the owner was like, she used to be my client." I'm like, "I remember you told me that," and I freaked out. And I was like, "Which chair did she sit so I could touch
You
it?"
weirdo.
I was joking. I was like, please tell me she's a nice person and not a total bitch. She's like, no, she was so sweet. She goes, and
oh.
beautiful. And she goes, and her husband's really good to look at. I'm like, I'm
Mm.
sure. If he's based on Rasand or Rasand's based on him, I'm sure he's beautiful. So Moss is her maiden name.
Oh, good for her.
Oh,
Apparently,
okay.
like one of her parents, they're from New York originally, and her husband's from this area. So that's why they moved to our area. Right now they live in Philly. They moved, I think she said in like 2018 or 2019 to Philly. But she grew up in New York. Her mom's like a doctor and her dad's a judge or vice versa, district judge or something like that. So
Oh,
like apparently when she told her parents at age 16, hey, I'm gonna write books for a living. That's what I want to do. They like almost disowned her because they thought she was never going to okay.
Oh
oh,
my
can I just
God.
say, I mean, I don't know her
Imagine.
as a 16-year-old, but I teach 16-year-olds. If they tell me that they're gonna write books for a living, I'd be like, great. What else are you gonna do?
What's
Oh,
your
really?
backup plan?
Oh, really? Well, like
Yeah,
look at her now.
16-year-olds are the worst.
She wrote Throne of Glass at age 16,
I'm
guys.
not saying she's the worst. The majority of 16-year-olds are the
Right.
worst.
You're right. Anyway, I thought that was amazing. And I found out her married name is Wasserman.
I know a lot of
Mm.
Wassermans.
There's like a ton of Wassermans around.
Really? Oh, so it's like Garcia. Like down here, everybody's named Garcia.
Yeah. The Northeast has a lot of like Jewish Wassermans, I feel like,
Got it.
right?
Yeah.
So
There's
Moss.
Barry Wasserman.
Moss.
Barry Was- Isn't he like the boob guy or the dentist guy? There's like a boob guy and a dentist guy, Barry Wasserman.
It does sound familiar. Is he a dentist? Maybe he's a
He's
dentist.
either a dentist or a plastic surgeon. That's
Oh
all we have up
God.
here. We're either dentist
Teeth
or
or
plastic.
tits? Teeth or tits?
Teeth or tits?
Tits. Oh my God, if we had a title name, if we just it
We would
wasn't,
change it.
it would be Teeth or Tits. Oh my God, I love that so much.
I
Barry,
just came up with that.
that's you're on it, baby.
She's
I'm
got
like chat
she's a
Oh, I
real
GPT.
was
wizard.
wrong. It's a LASIK eye surgery.
Oh, okay. There's no
Not as
teeth
fun
in his
as teeth or
eyes.
Oh,
tits.
right.
No, I like
He's
teeth
in
or
New
tits way
Jersey.
better.
He's in New Jersey. My friend got LASIK from him.
Princeton, to be exact.
Yeah, there you go. That guy.
That guy. I have no
That's
idea if he's
funny.
related to Sarah J. Maas's Wasserman, but
Oh,
anyway,
that's funny. Hey, well, who's the doctor? Her mom?
either her mom or her dad. One's a district judge, one's a doctor.
Okay.
Anyway,
Hmm.
I thought it was fun
Well,
information.
we'll ask her when she comes on our pod.
She
Right.
will be.
Simple.
Right.
Simple. Don't
They
worry,
were
we'll
like
get answers.
they were like, you should message her and be like, hey, Steph used to do your hair and like you're friends with her now and you go to her salon and blah blah blah. I'm like, she's not gonna answer any DMs. Like
She probably
she's
gets so
so
many.
freaking famous. Like, maybe people tag her in things all day long,
But
probably.
maybe she would respond to like fan mail because when my students wrote to Jason Reynolds, he responded and then we got him to speak at our school.
I love
Oh.
you, but Jason Reynolds is not Sarah J. Maas.
No, but he is a very he writes the Spider-Man Miles Morales series. That's pretty famous.
What that
Just a different well,
I do.
you don't
I
have little
do.
boys.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dina.
girls.
I've already watched it. It's actually pretty good. Well, the movie.
Right.
I don't read that.
All right. Are we ready, Danny?
Oh, yes. Let's focus.
Summary.
Hey, now excuse my crazy voice. Sorry, guys. Getting
It's
over
beautiful.
the flu or whatever I had. Plague.
The plague.
It felt like the plague. All right, so here we are. Feyre and Reese built their house on the estate, and Reese bought Feyre for solstice, as we said in the last episode. They offered Nesta a room at their townhouse, but she refused because she's a fucking bitch, and is staying in her apartment in the slums. Nesta is basically punishing herself and using sex and drinking to keep her powers at bay. She blames herself for her father's death, which
She's hearing the neck snap. That neck
Oh,
snap is
yeah,
haunting
yeah.
her. She wants to freeze. She doesn't want that fireplace going. She hears the
I
neck snap.
know.
that yeah, like did you guys get that at first when she didn't want any fire near her? Did you get
No.
that the crackle? Yeah, right. I was like, that's kind of
But when
Oh,
she
no, but-
described it, I
Yeah.
could like hear it after that every time she
Yes.
brought it up.
Yeah, I don't think
Right.
you're supposed to get it right away.
no, but
Yeah.
that was good. Nessa has been using Feyre and Reese's money, very nice, to pay for her drinking and runs up a huge tab. And this is the last straw. Feyre tells Nessa that she won't pay for the apartment and drinking anymore, and she's going to move her to the House of Wynn and train with Cassian every day. Oh, how terrible. I mean, I don't want to do the exercise part, but I'll be with Cassian every day.
Yeah.
I mean, I would get sweaty with Cassian. I mean, come
Yeah,
on.
sweaty in a different way. I don't need to train. I'll get sweaty a different way. She's also to spend her afternoons working in the library. Not a bad gig.
I mean, this is
Once
not
again,
bad.
once again, it's not a bad punishment, right?
Like, why are we
really
mad
not.
here?
Feyre, you're a
live
terrible
in-
sister.
I have to live in a mansion with really hot Fae males and read books all day. Like,
Yeah, which
Poor
you love. It's not
me.
like she hates books.
Yeah.
She loves books.
And she loves smutty books.
Yes, exactly. So Nesta and Cassian head to the Windhaven for their first training session, but Nesta refuses to participate. Surprise, surprise. Vasa and Jurian and Lucian have all become very close and live together in the human lands, which I thought was a little weird, but
Mm-hmm.
they
that was
they
weird.
call themselves the Band of Exiles. I was like, oh, sure. Why not?
But it's weird because, like,
Lucian
I
didn't
guess-
really fit in with the Jurian thing for me, but
well, like
Yeah.
he's living in the human lands. Like Vasa is a human, Jurian's human, but I guess like Lucian's officially like the ambassador to the human lands because Nessa's not because she's kind of like a waste of space right now.
and Lucian, I guess, kind of doesn't feel like he has a real home anywhere.
Oh,
Yeah.
I feel bad for
Poor
Lucian.
buddy.
Baby bird.
Baby bird. Aerys reveals that several of his soldiers were out on patrol and went missing. There's no trace of them, but a very strange scent at the site of their abduction. Vessa believes that Brialyn, the human queen who was turned immortal by the cauldron and came out old, is working with, how do you say that?
Crochet.
Crochet. See, I audioed this, so I'm seeing these names. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Which I
Not how
didn't
you
even
pictured.
realize until after I saw like the book in person, how frigging big this book was. I was like, wow. But I powered through the audio, like, because it's pretty spicy and delicious. Aerys tells them that Baron pledged his forces to Brielle and her war. Nesta is still refusing to train and goes to the town to check out the shops. Comes across the same shop Cassian went into for her wonderful solstice present that she just disregarded and he threw away. Isn't that terrible?
Isn't that
We're
terrible?
still mad at her.
I'm
for
still
that.
bitter because I still don't know what it is.
Yeah,
We'll
that's
never
what I want to know.
We'll never know.
If I ever meet Sarah Janet, I will ask her. That'll be one of my first questions, actually.
A, what's your middle name? B, what was Cassie's?
We're starting the Google Doc on that
There
already.
you go.
C,
Right?
who has the biggest wingspan?
Who do you think has the biggest wingspan?
Hmm. I bet Azrael is a sneaky little devil, and he's the biggest.
He's the quietest.
We don't
though.
know. He's the quietest.
He doesn't need to be boastful
It's
because
always the quiet ones.
he's got it.
Right.
He's got
Right.
it. Oh my God.
Maybe-
Can I say
maybe it's
something dirty
pollution.
Can I say something dirty for a second?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, did we see I talked about this at the salon today too. Did we see Justin Timberlake's wardrobe malfunction and his micro penis?
Ew, what?
Seriously?
Justin Timberlake has a micro penis?
Well, I think so. And I kind of think he's an asshole now.
Okay. Oh my God. Yes. Yes. Right?
So I don't
He's
mind
a
saying it.
douche.
Ever since like those pictures came in, I'm like, oh, he's cheating on Jessica Biel, like the most beautiful woman in the world. What an
Yeah.
idiot. So yeah, he was wearing like this harness thing at one of his shows. I guess like he was gonna get like lifted off or something like that. And it like kind of made him have like a frontal wedgie. And
Oh.
you could he looks like
You
he
have
has a little baby
you
boy.
have to share this. A little
He looks like his
boy
little baby boy
penis?
penis. I showed it to everybody else at the salon because they also hate Justin Timberlake. And this only popped in my head at the salon because his song came on the radio. I was like, did anybody see
You're such a
Wardrobe?
weird
It's
person.
called a baby carrot.
a baby?
baby
He-
carrot.
Totally, totally. And they were like, how did this guy get Jessica Biel? I'm like, he can sing. I don't know. He makes
I
up.
I don't see his
Charisma?
appeal. No, no.
I used to love him. Something
Used
fierce.
to.
No. Okay, so it's not just me because Bob and Joseph were like, "What's wrong with you? Why don't you like him?" I'm like, "He's a douche." And they're like, "It's not true."
Trying to
I'm
get
like,
the picture right now.
and the whole Britney thing, and they're like, "Britney's lying." I'm like, "Oh my God."
Yeah. I
No.
know.
I mean, it's so silly.
You're the worst.
It looks like a
Are you gonna
newborn
send it to
baby.
us?
Looks like a newborn baby.
You have to stop looking
Oh.
at it now. Ew.
Danielle can't look away.
Oh my God, I really can't.
Th-
Jenna, send that to Matt because he doesn't believe us. That's so gross. And so sad for him, but I mean,
there's a side view.
What? Okay, so it's not like a Photoshop
there's a
thing.
side view? Wait, how do you know it's not AI? Wait, where is it? You
Because
said
I
it's a
watched
side
I
view.
watched the actual video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you
Oh.
can't see it side view, honey. It's a micro.
I'm like,
It's non-existent. It's so tiny.
Oh,
That
Hey.
was so sad.
It made my day.
I feel bad for Jessica Biel.
right.
How many kids does he have?
2.
Who?
I mean,
You
you
can-
can still get that done, you know. And there's also IVF or IUI.
True.
Yeah, that was probably what happened.
That made me laugh. I'm so sorry. I interrupted.
Tangent. I'm not even
Okay.
sure how that
Tangent
happened.
over. We were talking about wingspan, and obviously
Oh.
he has a teeny tiny baby wingspan.
He would have a small wingspan.
The smallest.
He has his. Oh, I won't. Spoiler. Never mind. Keep going. Shh. 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 Shh.
I don't know what you were gonna say, but all right. All right, she meets Emery, and then later on she goes back to the library where she meets the acolyte, Gwen.
Gwen. Do we like Gwen? I like both of them.
I like both of them.
I like both of them. Yeah.
I thought they were very nice.
So Gwen is the redhead with the freckles, and she's half water wraith.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes.
Water nymph.
I
Water
want
nymph. She's a water nymph. Half water nymph, half fae, half something.
yes, she's half and half.
I
Well, we
think
can't say much because we don't want to spoil things later, right?
okay.
True.
About her family and her background.
Okay.
Sorry. All right, so the
Oh, I
house
just
of
sent that picture to your husband, Danielle, with no context.
he was right here in the kitchen.
Oh, thank God. Could you
Yeah.
imagine?
Even we're like, get your sister.
I mean, his Justin's face isn't attached to it, right? So he has no
No,
idea
it's
whose penis that is. He's just zoomed in, tiny penis. All right, we got to get on with this.
sorry. That's
All
my
right,
fault.
so the House of Wind is enchanted, and how cool is that? Uh, who wrote "I wanted to be my friend"?
I did.
That's so cute.
I do. Why do I like all like the inanimate objects, the pets? Like
I
that's
love
what
the
I
pets
want.
though, but yeah,
Right?
no, that
Oh
is pretty
God.
cool.
But the house is cool.
And it's funny because later, like Cassian's like, "Wait, you're like friends with this house?" Like,
I was gonna
what?
tell you Jenna to send it, but sorry.
You just see what I did?
Yes,
No,
yes.
what happened?
She sent it to the Texans group.
Oh,
I said no
Jenna.
context. This is what we're talking about.
You're the
Maybe that'll
one.
get them to listen to our podcast. Or maybe not.
You know,
Maybe they've heard it.
your husband just went,
Wait, the boys haven't
I'm
listened
not,
to the podcast? No,
I
Joseph
don't know.
has.
Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna let it be. I'm not even gonna answer. I'm just gonna let that stew for a minute.
For an hour.
Oh my God.
Okay, sorry. Right. The
No,
house.
it's okay.
I love the house.
It brings Nesta food and smutty books, and it basically turns into her friend because she,
Yeah, it just like drops from the ceiling, right? Or just
Mhm.
it just appears. It just appeared.
yeah,
Food,
Like I
like
really
food and
need
stuff,
a-
right?
like yeah,
Like
she
stop
like
starving
talks out
yourself.
loud, and it's like, here you go.
It's like stop
Mhm.
starving yourself. Here's some food.
Yeah, because she deserves it, I guess.
There we go. Okay. Go
All
ahead.
right, Nesta also keeps trying to leave the house of Wind by walking to the 10,000 steps, but never makes it, which cracks me up. I'm just like, what the fuck with these stairs? She has a nightmare one night and decides to try again so she could go drink, but misses a step and goes crashing down.
I have a question about that. I understand that they're steep and very curvy,
Mhm.
but like how do you fatigue going down?
Jenna, 10,000 steps is a lot.
Down though?
Yeah, I could
Not
see
that
it
bad.
because your
Really?
thighs are going to start to shake after a while.
Going
Just
down.
that downward motion.
I guess you do have to like. Okay. I was like, down doesn't seem that bad. I would just
I mean,
scoot my butt.
up. Yeah.
Scoot on
Yeah,
your
no
butt for
kidding.
10,000.
Let's get creative here, Nesta.
Worry about the up, baby. Worry
Right.
about the
Sorry
up.
about I mean, the up is way worse, but
Right.
Yeah. The up, I'm crawling.
But I feel like especially if they're steep, you could definitely put your butt down and just like, or hello, let's get like what do y'all have up there? Like the sleds for snow and stuff?
What do you all have? Yes.
We
know,
don't
like-
have that here.
Ina lives in Texas. He wore shorts today.
I'm still wearing shorts and it is
I'm staring
64
out
degrees.
the window and it's still snowing.
It's freaking snowing here.
Yeah, so we don't have the sleds, but maybe, I mean, Valaris, it snows. They probably have sleds.
Yeah.
I'm sure those boys.
Great
Get one of
idea.
those.
Might be hard to spin in, but
Or it could be really fun.
or it could be fun. Or you're puking.
Oh my God.
Okay. Yeah, I guess.
Moving on.
Yes.
All right,
yes,
so
once
she
again.
crashes down and she manages to grab hold of a step to stop her fall and notices that her fingers ended up embedded in the stone and she had used her powers. Oh,
Yeah,
my
because at this
goodness.
point she was saying that she didn't have them
Yeah,
anymore.
she was like,
Right.
no, they're gone. Bye.
Mhm.
No. Yeah,
I'm not
so
really a
she-
fae. I'm not real. I'm not like you
Mhm.
guys.
She's in denial of everything. So she like unintentionally used them.
Right.
Yeah.
Finally, Cassian gets Nesta to start training by offering her a bargain. If she trains with him for an hour, then he will owe her a favor of her choice. Could get a little
favor.
interesting later. And the bargain is tattooed on their backs as an 8-pointed star. The series makes me want to get another tattoo.
That was me.
Yeah. What would you get an 8-pointed star?
I don't know about an 8-pointed star because that seems kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But I like the moon and stuff, like the favorite tattoos. I would get something
Mhm.
like that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty.
Right.
I mean, Jenna did get that, so
Yeah, I like this one. Can you say?
No.
Tilt it a little.
Nope. Yeah,
Tilt.
there you go.
There you go.
Oh, that's
Oh,
pretty.
that's nice.
Yeah, and then I've seen like a book one where you open the book and like the stars and Valaris and books are like or flowers,
Hmm.
I mean, are flying out of it.
Oh,
I like
yeah, I've
that
seen
book too.
that.
Like bored
That's
about this book
pretty.
and I'm running out of room.
Yeah.
Yay. Mom said that, remember?
I know.
All right. Nessa finds Gwen again in the library and she works with Meryl, who is very demanding. And
Oh
Gwen,
yeah. Meryl's kind of mean.
Hmm.
yeah, she accidentally put volume 8 in her office, but she needs volume 7. And Gwen needs to replace it before Meryl notices.
Gwen's
And
like
this,
hysterically crying, right?
Yes.
yeah.
She's
She's,
panicking.
yeah, she's like a poor innocent little baby.
Oh.
All
Yeah.
right. Nessa ends up helping her by finding volume 7, replacing it in Meryl's office. We find out that Meryl's writing about the Valkyries' history and the war 500 years ago that wiped them out.
Hmm.
And that Meryl is also obsessed with theories about the different realms and worlds, and some believe that there are 26 realms, with the last one being time.
Ooh, I forget
Hmm.
that one.
Hmm.
Interesting.
When I read that, I assumed something like that was going to come up later, which it did, right? But
Mhm.
I'd also wonder if these 26 realms that they talk about have more to it, and hopefully we'll find out like a connection maybe between all the three books with it. Like maybe it'll explain some of the interconnections.
You
I
mean
mean, I
with like
haven't,
Crescent City and all that?
yeah, I
Crescent
mean,
Oh,
City
okay.
Trace explains it. So,
oh,
The
oh,
realms,
okay.
I
Crescent,
mean,
it
doesn't
explains the realms.
uh, to a point, to a point. I
Oh,
wouldn't
okay.
say like I'm knowledgeable about it all now that I've read all of her books, but because my brain hurts after reading all of them. Um, but I feel like I have a decent grasp. Yeah.
Because you also said it was confusing, so I'm a little
Oh,
scared.
oh, it's super. When you first read Crescent City, you're like, what the? After reading Throne of Glass and ACOTAR, you're like, what is this?
Oh no.
But then once your brain adjusts, you only say, what is this like 10% of the time.
Oh gosh.
Oh, only 10%. Okay, well, that's good.
Okay. It sounds
So
like a 2025 problem.
get on it and read Crescent City already.
Yeah.
Or just listen to it. It's all in graphic audio now.
Oh,
There you go.
okay.
Good
Hmm.
car ride.
And it is spicier than Silver Flames. So,
Whoa.
Hmm.
yeah.
I'll never forget pulling up to work, listening to some parts of Silver Frames, and I had people next to me. I was like, oh, okay. I got to
They can definitely
go
hear,
talk
right?
to children right now.
I'm always so paranoid about that.
Hmm.
All
All
right.
right.
During another training session with Cassie and Nessa talks about herself, we find out that she used to take dancing lessons, which I was a little shocked at. And she was her mother's creature. Her mother was a worse version of her, though. And then, so a little bit more on their mom, but do we have any more thoughts?
I think there's just so many theories that her mom was like a secret witch or like,
Hmm.
and like secretly knew the Fae.
I
Right.
mean, we'll maybe find out in the next book.
God, I hope so. Whenever that book.
Um, in Throne of Glass, Danielle, have you gotten to any witches or anything? No,
Listen,
right?
you guys have been telling me to not read them and read all these other books. So
I don't remember where you're at.
I'm in Crown of Midnight.
Oh, yeah, not yet.
No,
Okay. Okay. We'll save some thoughts
sorry.
then for later. Cool.
Just
All
remember,
right.
Danielle, Fourth Wing and Iron Flame have
I
graphic audio.
know. All right. Well, I can only do so many graphic audios. I am still on Glow. You made me push back powerless too. Okay, give me a minute. All right. Rhysand and Cassian go to the spring court to meet with Eris. And they question Eris about his intentions, and he's working against Baron and Bree Allen. Eris, the reason why he's doing this is that he wants to be the High Lord. Eris makes a comment about leaving more untouched at the border, and when Cassian says that he left her there to die, Eris said to ask more if that's true. She finally knows the answer. So, what do you think? What do you think he actually did?
So have you looked up theories on this?
I have. Why don't you go for it first, Dina?
So a couple of things that I saw was, and I had to go back and reread it, was where they mentioned about oh, I think I wrote it down because it was interesting. That the nails went through her womb and not her stomach. And so they're
Oh.
alluding to the fact that maybe she was pregnant.
Oh,
Oh, I think I
Yeah.
did hear that one.
with
Yeah.
Cassian's?
I'm assuming because that's
Because
the only one that she slept
that's the
with.
one she
Right.
slept with. Yeah. Because to just like get it over with and make her tainted so she didn't have to marry him.
Right. So
Oh,
there was that,
shit.
but I don't know how it connects to Eris and what he knows and all that. The other one that I saw was that he knew that she was into females and
Yes,
to
that's the
kind
one
of
Right.
I saw.
like help her out, he agreed to basically cut off the ties or, being her mate, but he didn't realize what Kier would do. And
Mhm.
one thing led to another. But he really isn't the bad guy in that sense because he didn't realize the extent of what would happen if they broke off that bond or whatever. Which I really do hope that he is a good guy deep down.
I
And I'm
mean,
having
Yeah.
trust issues with more.
Yeah.
I always kind of had trust issues with Moore. I feel
Right?
bad, but
There's a lot
a
of
little sus about
theories
her.
that Moore is like a double agent kind of
I could
situation.
Mm-hmm.
I could
Like there's a lot
totes
of
see
times
it.
where she's just like away and we
Mm-hmm.
don't really like she's off doing something. She's a
I
liaison and she's like gone for a while and like she has this like double life going on. There's a lot of theories about a double life. So I don't know. I feel like she's gonna end up being a villain in the end.
I
That's
just don't want
Right.
Reese to be so hurt like that.
I
That'd be so
know.
sad
Because
for
they're
him.
so close.
yeah, they
Yeah,
are.
like she's number two,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't. Number one, I've never liked that. Number
Yeah.
two, like, no, sorry.
Yeah,
Um
and then what's her
yeah.
her power is the power of truth. But what does that mean exactly? Does that mean that she can't tell a lie or that she can tell if others aren't telling a lie? Like, do we know what the full extent of her power is in that sense?
I'm looking that up. I actually don't even think I knew what her freaking power was. So it says, um, Moore's power may be truth, but it's not what it sounds like. One thing that's clear, the power of truth cannot be connected to Moore's ability to lie or tell the truth because she manipulates the truth multiple times throughout the series. One
Mm.
example is how long Moore has been misleading Azriel about her
Oh,
for
yeah,
him.
that's true.
So maybe she's able to tell when others are telling the truth and has nothing to do with her
Her.
own truth. Um, so yeah, I've seen theories that Eris knows that she prefers females.
Uh-huh.
And he was just like something of like, don't touch her because then we have to like claim her or something like that. And like
Mm-hmm.
he knew that Azriel and Cassian were coming for her. And so he wanted them to come save her and not him. And he was like afraid of what his dad, Baron, was going to do if he like took her in and took care of her. So that's just some theories, but who knows, honestly. I want Eris to have more of a redemption than I want
Mm.
Tamlin to have
Mm-hmm.
a redemption.
Really?
Agreed. I
Well,
agree.
honestly, because I feel like Eris has done, he's like 4 steps forward, 2 steps back. He's done more for the inner circle than Tamlin has. I don't think Tamlin has done anything other than giving Feyre wind to get her through Wings and Ruin. And
Mm-hmm.
and
Helping
then
Reese.
I was just about to say and the
Okay.
droplet of power.
I mean, that's pretty significant,
Yeah, but
Jenna.
only because Feyre's fucking begging, begging. No one's begging Eris to help, and he is. I mean, he has ulterior motives for
Yeah.
him wanting to be the High Lord of Autumn Court, but I mean, he could go about that differently. I don't know. I don't know. Also, everybody loves our fan pic on Instagram for Eris, which is Joseph Morgan, who is oh shit from Vampire Diaries, Danielle.
Who?
My brain's not working.
Joseph
Oh my God, the
Morgan,
bad guy. Oh my God.
vampire.
Why?
Oh, Klaus.
Klaus.
Yeah, that's
Everybody
it. That's a good
loves that
one.
we picked Klaus as Eris. Everybody's
That's
obsessed.
pretty funny.
And it almost has 500,000 views on Instagram
It's
right
crazy.
now. So there
Yeah.
you go. There we go. All right, keep going.
I'm not blue.
Oh, that's
You're
me.
blue.
Okay,
Yeah.
yay. Okay. So Cassian tells Nesta about Lanthus, which I think is so funny that he's terrified of this like smoke monster
So
that
funny.
lives right. It's the smoke monster. No, that's Bryaxis. I'm sorry.
No,
I
no.
have
I mean, he's scared of him too.
he's scared of him too. So
He has some fears.
Lanthus is like this evil demon Fae lord thing that's like in the jail. He's like it's one of the first gods that he put in prison, and apparently was like it almost killed him, right? He fathered the bog, which is first gross,
Hmm.
second scary.
Yeah.
The bog is not okay.
Gross.
Like, I don't want to know how you did that. That's nasty. Um, Cassian had to trick him to catch him, and he trapped himself in a mirror made of ash wood. So we know that ash can like kill fairies, and he somehow put him in this like mirror prison. And Lanthus got out of the mirror in the prison, but was still like trapped in there. I don't know. It's something crazy Sarah J. Maas brain stuff.
That is
Um,
something wild.
right? Cassian tells Nesta about the blood right, which happens like when you what's the mountain?
Uh,
Ramiel.
Yeah, Romeo.
And you have to like go climb Ramiel, but also you have to fight these like demons, and then other people are trying to kill you because the first person that gets there before the time is up, you're an Illyrian warrior, right? And then the Illyrian warrior comes to full power, and they have to complete the blood rite to qualify as a warrior and adult. So they are taken to the Illyrian mountains, and they're left there for a week. The goal is to survive and try to reach Ramiel. So no females have ever taken part of this. So we know at this point that Nesta, Gwen, and Emery are really like admiring the Valkyrie, which are all female
Hmm.
warriors. So Assi Cassian, oh my God, Nesta asked Cassian
oh my
if
God.
he would train the priestesses if she could get them to come to training, and he says yes. So the priestesses are very traumatized. A lot of them were victims of assault and sexual assault and abuse, and they were kind of saved by Rysand and Asriel and brought to this like little like guarded, warded library that Rysand has on in Valaris. I'm so sorry. My brain's not working. So anyway, well, then Elaine comes to visit Nesta in the House of Wind, and they get into a fight. Elaine's finally showing that she has a little bit of a backbone. I like that.
Hmm.
Then Cassian and Nesta get into a fight, and he's like, "How could you be mean to Elaine?" Like,
Like she's so
Baby Lane.
innocent and just bakes cookies.
right? And she's like, "I don't care. I'm gonna go walk down these stairs again." And like, she only makes it down to step like 1,000 and comes back up. Like, that's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm going down 1,000, like, I'm not going back up. Like, I'm butt bumping it. Like, what is wrong with you? So Cassian's apparently waiting for her at the top, and he's like, are you happy now? He tells her about his journey, about slaughtering every person who hurt his mother. Like, we learned a little bit more about his like backstory, which is really sad. They fight again, and then she kisses him. Like, way
It's
to
just
be
so
like
annoying. Like he's
hot and
opening
cold.
up to
Yeah.
her and then they have a fight. Like it's annoying. Don't be mean to him.
So
Mhm.
back and forth, hot and cold.
She's very bipolar with him. She's like, I love him, but I can't let him know that I love him, and I don't deserve love, so I'm going to be a dick to him. Um, and then, oh my God, what happens? Doesn't she jerk him off? Like, and then he like comes really quick because
Yes.
because he's so in love with her, and she like basically mocks him to his face and says, "Well, someone's quick off the mark." Could you imagine? Like, that's so demeaning.
So
I know.
rude.
So rude. Okay. So Azriel has been watching the Queen, Brialyn, for weeks now because he's our little shadow singer and knows that she wishes to find the cauldron so she can get her youth back because she's decrepit and old now and disgusting.
She's
Um,
crusty.
she's working with Koshé. Do we know at this point that Koshé is the brother to the bone carver and
Well, we do now, so
I'd say I
the
think we
weaver?
find out.
Didn't we find out in Wings and Ruin or no?
Yeah. Yes, I believe so. I believe we
Anyway,
already
if we
knew.
didn't, there you go.
Sorry. Well,
Um,
you should have already read that part.
yeah, whatever.
Yeah, right up to now.
He has pointed her to the Dread Trove. So the Dread Trove is all of these magical pieces. It's like a treasure chest of like magical items that can like um make people bow to their command. It could raise the dead. It can like what, like time travel? I don't know. Some crazy.
Influence people, open doors,
Hmm.
things like that.
So Koshé wants to get the Dread Trove so he can free himself from the lake. So he's imprisoned on this like little island lakey thing. Um, Oh, I'm sorry. You have it listed, Dina. The
Oh, right.
mask raises the dead. The harp opens any door, physical or metaphorical, I guess. The crown can influence people. So the trove was made by the Cauldron. Here we go. Like calls to like. Sarah J. Maas loves it. I was like watching this show on Netflix, The Shadow and Bone, which is based on the book,
Mm.
and they said like calls to like. I was like, God damn, I
No.
hate this phrase so much.
We are tired of it. Please
Oh my
do not
gosh.
write it in your books anymore.
Oh my God. I
So
mean, we love you.
I
So
mean,
come
yes.
on the podcast
Sorry.
first.
Right. We can discuss.
So since the trove was made by the Cauldron can find the trove, but also because Elaine, Feyre, and Nesta were made by the Cauldron, they can help find the trove. So anyway, Nesta won't let Elaine find the Dread Trove because of what happened the last time. Nesta says that she can't track it and asks Feyre to find it. Like, Feyre's pregnant. Like, can you do something? Can you? Feyre says she can't because dun dun dun, she's pregnant. Nesta tells her that she tells Nesta that she's having a boy. Um, so what do we think about all of that?
I mean, I was
I
happy for, that she shared it with her sister. I thought she was going to keep it a secret for a minute.
And Nesta was like happy for them, I feel like, right? Was she?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she was a little shocked at first. Like, oh, okay, this is like real life with you in this whole
Like,
situation.
oh, you're happily ever
It's
after right
serious.
now. You're
Right.
happily ever after.
Like, you like this life.
And I think Farah waited to tell anybody else about what she was having. She
Hmm.
like
Yes,
saved that for Nesta, which I thought was really sweet. And Nesta
That's
kind of
true.
didn't like
it was undeserving.
care, not care, but like she was just like, okay, like she didn't really like
She didn't give
appreciate
her
it.
the reaction that she wanted.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of sad because when you're telling your sister that you're pregnant and then you're the first one to tell them that you're having a boy, like you expect a certain reaction from them. So
Right.
making me sad.
Wah, wah.
But yeah.
Okay. So, at this point in the book, no priestesses have signed up for training with Cassian. So, and we understand, like they had like trauma with men
Mhm.
assaulting them. So they're like, I really don't want to be trained by a man. I don't trust men. I want to stay in my women bubble in my library. So Nesta stages a scene in the library where Nesta is practicing her training in front of the priestesses, and Cassian shows up and coaches her. So this encourages Gwyn to sign up for the training in the morning. So Gwyn shows up for training, and this is the first time she's been outside of this like library since arriving there. She said that she signed up for the training so she never has to feel powerless again. So
That
good
made
for
me so
you.
sad.
But
Hmm.
like also like good for you, Gwen.
Yes, but
Yeah.
like sad that she felt powerless.
Yeah.
Like,
But she's taking it back into her own hands.
mhm.
Like, that's good.
I'm sure there's plenty of people in the world who like experience something like that and then don't take that step. They just
Oh,
like
Right.
shut
absolutely.
out
Yeah.
forever, you know?
So that's growth on her part too.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely. So Nesta meets up with Emery again and tries to convince her to come to training, but Emery says no. Eventually, she agrees to show up after Nesta gives her a package filled with spices and teas, which is really cute. We find out more about Gwen's background. Her mother took part in the Great Rite and had Gwen and her twin sister who passed away, right? So
Hmm.
there's lots of theories. Do we want to talk about it, Dina? I know you read a lot
Yes.
about these theories.
Yeah. That, I mean, if it was part of the Great Rite, is
Mm.
Tamlin her dad?
Because I feel like the Spring Court is the one that really believes in this Great Rite more than other court.
Exactly. Right. And then at what point was it happening? Because I think all the other ones stopped doing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, definitely Tamlin's court is still at it. So, you know,
Literally.
could it? I mean, maybe not Tamlin, maybe his father. Like, who knows?
Yeah,
I don't know what the time frame is, but
I know, right?
kind of
It's a good
interesting,
potential theory.
right?
It is. Okay, so Nesta does this like scrying with the bones and the map and everything like that, which was really weird. I don't know
Mm,
if I like that so much.
I know.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, this is so weird. Um, to try to find where the cauldron is, but nothing happens. She ends up having like a nightmare that night, which like results in like the entire room being filled with like this silver fire, and she wakes up like well, she doesn't even wake up. She's like screaming. It's consuming her. Rasan tries to wake her. It's not getting anywhere. He gets into her mind and finally understands her trauma. He's like feels a little bit bad for her. And Rasan like says, because he looked into her mind, that Nesta's power is just like pure death, like pure death. And I think it was like, wasn't it like Cassian that was the only one that was able to wake her up from the dream?
Yeah, I
I
think so.
think
Or is that
so,
like a
but
different dream?
Rhysand also had part, and I think he tried to reach into her mind to pull her out, but Cassian's voice is what she could hear, or something like that.
Yeah. And I think then Reese understood how deeply
Yes.
connected she was to Cassian at that point.
Hmm.
Yes.
So we learn at this point that Rasan has been really moody because he knows and has been keeping a secret that the baby that Feyre is carrying has wings because at the time that the baby was conceived, she was in her Illyrian form, so she had wings. So two Illyrians equal baby with wings, and there's an elevated risk during labor because Feyre is not naturally Illyrian, and so her like pelvis is different, I guess. And she's afraid to, and was told not to, I guess, by the midwife to shift into an Illyrian because they don't know if the baby would die if she did that. So they were told that her and the baby will die because he can't pass through the birth canal. And Rasan refuses to tell Feyre at this point. Cassian tells Nesta,
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
idiot. Um, so that's not good because
I also don't like that Rhysand was keeping this from Feyre. I understand why he was
mm,
doing it, but I actually kind of got annoyed with the fact
mm,
that he was keeping it from her, and I was mad at him for it.
Yeah, it was, I mean, because he's so Mr., I love you, beyond words. And I mean, he wants to protect her. And do we
Hmm.
know at this point about, yeah, we know that their bond to,
mhm.
Hmm.
right.
If one
Okay.
goes, they
To
both
one goes,
go.
okay, good. All
But
right.
like
Yeah.
the whole series, he's always been making her his equal and like pumping her up, like, we're on this at the same level. And she's obviously time and time again proved how strong she is with
Mhm.
everything that
This
she's
is
gone through up
different,
until now.
but this is different.
Still, but
So like
still.
I'm on the other side of things. Like we do have a listener engagement poll on this, and it was relatively close, but I was never mad at Rasand about this because if he like the whole time is like researching, trying to figure out a way to solve this problem. So he's like wants her to be in this blissful pregnancy bubble while he tries to figure it out. He doesn't want to have this like death looming over her head. He wants her to enjoy her pregnancy while he tries to figure it out. And then if he can't, he wants her to enjoy her time left before. So I kind of was never mad at him because I was like,
Because
if
you just love him so much.
I do
Yeah.
love him, but I
Yeah.
also like get
You're
it. Like,
biased, Jenna.
I know. But it also was like, there's what's the knowledge going to do for her? Like, she can't, it's not a matter of her being strong. Like, if she's going to die, wouldn't you want your mate to like be happy up until the end? Like, would you want them for 9 months? Or I think actually Faye stayed pregnant for a year. Would you want them to be like scared and like depressed for a whole year? Or
No,
would you want them to be blissful and in a bubble until the end and then have to tell them at the very last minute, you know? I wouldn't want them to know.
I would feel betrayed almost. Like, I think if I was in that situation, yeah, like that would ever happen, right? But if I was ever in that situation, like I would want to know personally. Like, yes, maybe I can't change things, but maybe I could help research with Resand. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I
It's
think
an
it just
extra
comes
stress on
down.
the baby too. I
It
don't know.
is. It
It
is.
is.
I don't know why that
It's a
never
hard one.
bothered me. I know it bothered a lot of people, but it did bother me. But I also don't like Nesta, and there's a lot of people that like Nesta. So
Yes.
I just
Yep.
have different opinions. So whatever. Okay. So we go back to Nesta trying to scry again, and she finds the mask in the bog of Orid. I don't know how
Mhm.
to say some of these words. So Nesta, Cassie, and Azriel go to the bog to find it, and whoa, mama. Azriel disappears while they're walking through the bog. So Cassian puts Nesta in a tree, and he's like, "Stay here." And he flies to the area where he sees Azrael's like blue siphons glowing, and Azrael is surrounded like by a dozen of Autumn Court soldiers, right? So Nesta tries to wait in there, but she has like the patience of a toddler. So she leaves and she jumps out of the tree and tries to swim in the bog to try to get it herself. And then there's like a freaking kelpie creature in there, which is terrifying. It wants to eat
Mhm.
her. And it grabs her and drags her down to the bottom of the water. It ends up pushing her to the bottom where she finds the mask. And she's like, okay, this Kelpie guy, like, is going to, like, I don't know, like rape me and then eat me or whatever. And so she's like, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to pop this mask on. So that's what she does. She puts the mask on her face and she's able to command all the dead that this Kelpie has killed and brought to the bottom of this bog. And she basically raises a like a freaking
An
like
army.
army of dead skeletons.
Gross, but badass.
I mean, it is
Yeah.
badass. Like I've seen like
It's
fan art of
gross.
it, and she's just like in this bog with this mask, and her eyes are glowing silver, and these all these skeletons, whatever. And she's got like
Ooh.
Bog's head or something crazy like that. And then like Azrael and Cassian are like shitting themselves when they see it. So meanwhile, while this is happening, Cassian and Azrael like had to fight like these autumn soldiers who were like kind of like in this weird like trancy enchantment state. Um, and they like I think they kept like killed all of them, but like kept two.
Hmm.
And they want to see if Helion, the other High Lord of, is he the Day Court Helion? I don't know what he is. If he can
Day
break the
or
spell on him.
dawn? Yeah.
Maybe Dawn.
And we know at this point that Helion is Lucian's daddy.
Yes.
Right? Okay, good.
It's real daddy.
Real daddy.
Rilla dada. So yeah, Dina, it's all you, my friend.
Okay, so now more priestesses start showing up for training, and Gwen realizes that Azriel was the one that found her at, oh gosh, here we go, San Graval. Which, if you remember, was when Hybern was looking for the cauldron, one of the pieces was hidden in the temple where the priestesses
Yeah.
were, and the warriors were sent there and killed most of them and priestesses and like raped them. So Az like showed up and slaughtered them all and was, part of like saving
Freaking
them.
badass.
Yeah, of course. Our man Az. So then Cassian takes Nesta to a blacksmith in Valaris so that she can see a sword being made because at this point, I want to say that they're gonna start training with swords. So they start off with like wooden swords, but for her to like have an appreciation for it, he took her to this place, which is actually pretty smart.
Yeah, he wanted
Um,
her to respect the craft.
right,
Yeah,
exactly.
because she
Um, so
loved.
to my surprise, like she really took in it and she asked to actually hammer some of the swords. And so she ends up hammering a dagger, a sword, and a great sword. Um, which again, things in threes, right? We have the
Oh
dead
yeah.
trove, we have these swords and daggers, again, a three,
Mhm.
the three sisters, the three
Mm.
death gods. Like there's so many threes
Mm.
within this
Three's
series
magical.
that yeah, I'm like, oh, so crazy. But later on we find out that these weapons hold power now because Ness is the one hammering. I think she was like thinking of stuff too as she was hammering. So maybe a little bit of cathartic for her, but
I think she was
also,
yeah, thinking of all the things that she couldn't save,
right?
like her life, the call herself from drowning in the cauldron, her father, Cassian getting injured, everything. Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. Like
Mm.
you forged these now the new trove. Um So then the inner circle finds out about it because the blacksmith basically comes back and says, like, you all take them, they're cursed, I don't want them. And they decide not to tell
Crazy.
Nesta about it. And Feyre is basically the deciding vote on whether to tell her. And they haven't told her yet. So, I mean, already at this point, like, oh, okay, somebody's going to spill the beans, probably Cassian. They're going to get another fight here. And then, yeah. Later on, Helion shows up on a Pegasus, which was pretty cool that they had Pegasus.
Yes.
I like this. But he's here to see if he can break the spell on the Autumn Court soldiers. But they find out that they're actually being controlled by the Crown, which, what's her name? Brialyn, the
Brialyn.
queen?
Realyn.
Brialyn, there we go. That she probably possesses. So they're down to the last one, which is the harp. They need to try to find the harp. Um, he also shows Nesta how to ward the mask, and like there's a lot going on with I
Mhm.
think she learns how to ward it, but then she can't take off the spell. Like only Rhysand can do that, just so that there's a like a breakup and hopefully she can't just control it all herself.
Time out
Um,
real quick.
yeah, yeah.
There is a Pegasus tie-in to Crescent City.
Of
Oh,
course there is.
really?
Mm.
Of course.
I mean, that whole court sounded pretty magical when they discussed it was in Wings in Ruin, right? Because they're the ones with the feathers. They have like the pretty feathers. Or which is the court, right?
I
Because
nailed.
that's, huh?
I nailed.
Oh no.
I
See,
nailed.
and that's a good thing you didn't
Yes.
have jalapeno. That would have been bad.
Yes. Prettier,
Um,
pretty feather.
right. So they have these pretty feather wings. I think also at one point they're gonna go and talk to that court to see about Feyre birthing a creature with
Mm.
wings, and
Yeah.
they're
Hmm.
different, right? So I think that's in the second part. But anyways, there was also discussion about Rhysand becoming a high king with these three new blades that Nesta created. But he's basically saying, like, no, I'm not considering it. But
He doesn't
I
want
don't
anything to
know.
do with it.
I
Yeah,
feel
he's
like
like, I'm not a king.
yeah, there's some foreshadowing here. If he doesn't end up with it, I don't know, Tamlin or
Oh God, no.
Eris,
No,
or
please.
I
Well,
mean,
None of
maybe
that.
Eris, but
No,
not that I would want it, but maybe that
y-
is foreshadowing for Eris.
right? Like
I've heard
something's coming.
theories. I've heard theories that Lucian will end up being a high king.
Well,
What?
well, I don't like that. I mean, I love Lucian, but
I
You
would
think he's
rather
gonna turn
Lucian than
bad?
Eris or Tamlin.
but does Lucian have what it takes to be a high king?
He's got a better heart.
He does.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know if I like that though. I mean, I'd rather have Rhysand, but
Mm.
Yes.
Yeah.
you know.
Oh yeah, 1,000%.
But it's like Game of Thrones, like what is it, Jon Snow the whole time. I don't
Right.
want it. I
I
don't
don't
want
want it.
it.
You're right. It is like
And then he
that.
doesn't end up with it. You're like, seriously? Yeah.
So true.
Anyways, it's gonna be Brandon, the little king who turned weird. Anyways, that's a different
Turned
that's a
weird.
different book. He is weird,
No, I agree. I agree with
right?
you.
That's a whole nother discussion. Anyways, okay. So Cassian begins teaching the Valkyrie methods to the girls, and he ends up telling Nesta about the new dead trove, which she's created. And of course, she gets angry about it, which we figured because they try to take a vote on whether they should tell her or not. I mean, I would be too. I'd be mad that
She gets
they
angry at
held that.
everything. So,
But yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Um, Feyre, Nesta, and Amren all get in a fight, and Nesta ends up revealing to Feyre that no one has told her about the baby that she's carrying will kill her.
Yeah, that was fucked up.
So,
Like,
yeah.
don't, fine. You want your sister to know? Fine. Don't blurt it out like
Yeah,
that out of
that wasn't the
anger.
right place to say it.
Well, because
Absolutely not.
she didn't do it because she loved Feyre and wanted Feyre to know. She was trying to hurt her.
The
Yeah.
intention was, yeah, exactly. It was a bad intention. So at this point, Nessa's just like blown it all up, and Cassian has to take her out of the city. I think Rhysand's the one that's basically like, get her out of here. And they end up going on a hike for several days, which was kind of random.
Well, it's like
Um,
a punishment. Like, this is what you get.
Like now you're gonna have to hike, like her
You
and the
hurt my
stairs and
high
the
lady.
hiking and the oh my gosh. But they barely talk throughout the this hike. Um, but then you kind of also find out a little bit more about Nesta and what she's feeling. She tells Cassian that she let her father die and
Mm.
will hate him for her, and all the hate that she had in her heart like died with him.
Mm.
She says she was horrible to him and he still loved her even though she didn't deserve it. She believes she can fix the horrible things she's done, but just can't fix herself. I mean, so you really do see like what she's feeling and how she feels that she doesn't deserve things, which
Hmm.
she just keeps digging a deeper hole, I think, for
Hmm.
herself.
Yeah.
But
And this is when Cassian takes her into that like hike, right? We said that.
hmm hmm
Yeah.
Yeah, she
And
said they're on
where
the
like
highway.
he didn't like talk to her for like the longest time.
Yeah.
She just
Yeah.
kept
Well,
like
he was
spiraling.
mad. He was super
No,
Yeah.
mad.
no, I
Yeah.
I don't blame him for that, but she kept like spiraling like at the more he didn't talk to her. And like I don't
Good.
blame him again, like but it just was funny to me. It's not really funny,
Right,
but
because they were taking like the 2 steps forward, 5 steps
hmm
back, kiss
hmm
a little bit, get in a huge fight,
Yeah.
fondle each other a little bit, get in a huge fight.
Talk
hmm
about like what is it, slow burn or oh God.
and at this point they haven't done much sexy time.
No, I think,
They did have the dinner table scene.
The dining room table scene.
Yeah, where Azriel
and
walks
then he
in.
walks in. Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was
I think that's as far
fantastic.
that they got.
That's my personal favorite, but we'll get into that more with the listener poll discussion. Tina, you have a interesting deep dive discussion here, so go
Thank
for it.
you.
Tell
I
everybody.
did write it down. So, as we kind of said before, I think, I don't know, Danielle, how do you feel about Nesta? Are you a Nesta lover, Nesta hater?
No,
Like,
I don't like her at all.
you don't like her?
I specifically remember texting Jenna. I was like, "Why does she suck so much?" And then I had a girlfriend who was reading at the same time, and I'd be at work, and I'd just be like, "Are you at this part yet?" I hate her, and then I would say, oh, "Okay, she's not so bad." Like the stuff about her dad, and then like within that same
Back and
text
forth.
thread, no, not even 5 minutes later, I'm saying, "Nope, I hate her. I hate her again."
Hmm.
Like she can't. She was not redeemable.
Okay, so then
Not in my
definitely an unpopular opinion amongst our group here. I I actually like her, but I am
Always
frustrated.
or
I've liked her since the beginning.
really.
Um, I don't like some of the stuff that she's done, but I feel like she's a very complex character. And I respect Sarah J. Maas for
Mhm.
writing such like a character with
Controversial.
such like yes, she's very controversial, but I also feel like in doing that, she made her very real
Yeah.
because I mean, day to day, everyday life, this girl hit rock bottom.
Mm.
And how many people hit rock bottom and don't come out of that?
No, that's a
And
good.
in this book, you do see some growth, but like you said, it's very slow progressing. It is not linear, which is very much like real life.
Yeah. Yeah.
People try and they fail again. And this is just her. It's like it's the stairs. You get down a little bit, you go back up. You get down a little bit more, you go back up.
Symbolism. Yeah.
Hmm.
and listeners, if you listened to Penn Cole's episode last week, we talked about Henry, who
Mm.
we all hated, and Penn gave us
I didn't
a
hate. I
beautiful.
was just really mad at him.
Well, we didn't like a lot of choices that he made. Anyway, and we were like, "How do you like him?" And she goes, "Oh, I'm a huge fan." And she humanized him and his
Hmm.
actions and his trauma. So I'm gonna back Dina here. I see that point of view. I'm still mad and salty,
Right.
but I understand where you're coming from, Dina. And
I
that's
mean,
why
and
you're the nicest out of the three of us.
well, I'm not saying that like I like her and I want to be her friend, but I understand her and
Mhm.
I respect her as a character in this book. And I really do hope that things get better for her and I hope that she ends up fixed. But I mean, she's obviously not fixed in this book. She
Mm-mm.
still has
I
ways to
mean,
go.
it was sad when she was going through all the stuff about her dad and like
Hmm.
how they used to sleep in the tiny cottage after mom had died, and then dad was like hurled up on like the little floor
Yeah.
by the fire, and
So here's why I don't like her.
oh
And
God, here we go.
well, I get the whole trauma since becoming Fae and being forced to be Fae
She had
and
trauma before, is what Dina is saying.
yeah, but so guess what? And I know everybody deals with trauma differently, but so did Elaine and so did Feyre. But Feyre and Elaine didn't treat their sisters like shit. Nesta did, and Nesta, as the oldest sister, let her youngest sister go out and find food, find money for so they can live, since their father kind of gave up on life. And and her sisters weren't doing anything. Feyre did all of that. So Nesta had the same trauma as Feyre and Elaine, but Nesta did nothing and Feyre stepped up.
I'm going to play devil's advocate and say, but like you just said, everybody deals with trauma differently.
Yeah.
And she is reflecting and working through it. Just took her a longer time to deal with it.
I feel like she's barely working through it, but whatever, it's fine.
I know. She's super stubborn and getting in her own way of working through it. I'm not going to say that she's not. She is
It must be because
not working on it sometimes.
it must be because she's the oldest sibling and I'm the oldest sibling of
And
3.
you're super stubborn?
And yeah, listen, A, I admit I'm a bitch. B, I admit I'm extremely stubborn. I'm a Capricorn. That's what we do. That's like our main thing in life is that we're stubborn as hell. But if my family's in need or someone's coming at my family, you're dead. Like you better run. Like, and Nesta's the opposite. She just hurts her family. And I get it's from trauma, but I just don't respect that kind of human. And I know like I'm in a bunch of like book club, like fan groups on Facebook, and I know I'm a nerd, but there's so many people that love Nesta and they're like, I'm a Nesta, I get it. And I know Sarah J. Maas like was writing this book in a really dark mental health time of her own. And she was Nesta and Ramiel was her proverbial like mental health hill. So I get it and I respect that. But my brain just can't wrap around it.
Well,
And
I
like,
think she was a total bitch to her family too, and that's why I don't like her because she's a bitch to everybody around her.
And I don't think if I can speak for all 3 of us, like we have our own traumas and we're not being giant assholes to our families.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. But
we're functioning people. We may not be nice outside of the work walls when we vent about it, but
no,
there might be some faces made.
Faces.
Like, me and my husband were watching the series finale of Yellowstone, which don't even get me
there
started.
You go, Dina.
I know.
Don't even get me started, Dina, on how you guys haven't watched it.
I was supposed to watch it years ago. I still haven't.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Oh no.
And as I'm watching the series finale, I'm like, hands down, this is my favorite series of all time. And then like
that's a hard thing to say.
Have you watched it?
No.
Exactly. So shut your mouth. Well, one of the characters is a real big bitch, but she's like, I just respect the fucking shit out of her because she defends her family. You can be a bitch, but if you protect your family, I have your back 100%. And she did something, and I was like, saying to my husband, I was like, aren't you glad I don't keep you in the dark and I tell you when it's happening? He's like, you think you're not like this character? You're 100% her. I was like, you know what? I'm choosing not to be offended by this because I love her.
So now you know why you love her.
But see,
like calls to like.
Ooh. Like calls to like.
All I'm saying, moral of the story, I would have respected Nesta a lot more if she had her family's back. She just doesn't have it.
It's because you are a very good sister and you don't like that she is not a good sister.
That's basically it.
Yeah.
I will say also in Crescent City 3, never mind, I won't say anything.
Don't
tell
say
me
it.
Nesta comes out.
Read it.
Never mind. Anyway, okay. Listener poll engagement. Would you like to hear the stats?
Absolutely.
So I made 2. One of the ones was, were you mad? And we talked about this a little bit. Were you mad at Roseanne for keeping the truth from Feyre about the risk of her pregnancy? 63% of our followers said yes, and 37% said no. So again, I'm that 37% that said no. And then I did a for funsies one that was like, which was the sexier/spicier scene? Was it Cassie and Nesta put your hands on the headboard, or was it under the dining room table scene? If you know, you know.
I thought yours was the headboard, Jenna.
Ooh, mine's
because you were begging for me to tell you when I got to that part.
Because it's such everybody talks about that part.
Oh, all right.
But no. I love the dining room table scene, and I love that Azriel comes in right after. Like he knew what was happening. He just wanted to be like, really in where I eat, really.
Right. Well, especially because they could smell everything.
Right. And your hearing's great. So Dina, which one did you pick?
I picked the headboard one.
Thanks, Dina.
I think it's also because I was listening to that part because I did like both audio and I read the dining room scene and then I heard the headboard one. So
Hearing
that also.
hearing the headboard one, because I picked the headboard, hearing that was like,
His voice was really good.
Yeah, yeah.
it was a
Danielle,
whoa.
you did the headboard
I
one
did the
too?
headboard for sure.
I did the dining room table.
I actually, and I'm, no judgment, guys. As soon as that scene was over, I replayed it.
Oh,
I thought you
nice.
were gonna say that you found your husband.
I thought so too.
Maybe I did that too.
Oh. She replayed it well. Got it. Woo.
Kieran was like, "These books are doing a number on you." He's like, "I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying."
Keep reading.
Like, quiet, Kieran, you like it.
Yeah, like, do you? No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Book rating. We gave this. Did we give this a book a four goblet rating?
Fours.
Yeah.
I'm really stingy about my 5 stars.
Yeah, this isn't a 5.
I have to feel like euphoric the whole time, be like, I can't stop. This is amazing.
And
Yeah.
remember, we didn't get to the end of this, so we're giving it a
Yes.
4
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
currently.
That's true. This is only part 1 of Silver Flame, so I guess we can't truly give this a rating.
If
At
you're
this
taking,
point.
yeah, at this point, it's a 4.
Yeah, at this point, it's a 4.
Yeah.
All right, Dina, hit us with your segment.
Okay, so on the nightstand segment, this is where we briefly discuss any books that's on our nightstand or what we're reading, any arc reads, current reads. What are y'all reading? What's on your nightstand? Who
Danielle,
wants to go first?
Oh,
Yeah, you
I'm
go
still in the same position because I've been plagued. So, and I'm not a speed reader. Jenna and Dina both sent their Goodreads, like how many books they read this year, and I mean, blew me out of the water. I mean, granted, I have read a lot, but no, I am almost done Glow, and it's getting real good. So,
Glow of the Everflame by Penn Cole.
yes, my bestie.
Mm-hmm.
So if you
And
haven't
then-
listened, that we just interrupt you real quick, Danielle.
That's okay.
We interviewed Penn Cole, New York Times bestselling author, last week. She wrote Kindred's Curse Saga, Spark of the Everflame, Glow of the Everflame, and Heat of the Everflame, and it was amazing, and we love her. And that's it. Go listen. Okay.
And then I'm gonna start Fourth Wing finally.
Yay!
Yeah. Just so you know, Lucian in graphic audio, Lucian's voice is Zayden's voice in Fourth Wing.
Mm.
Oh, okay, interesting.
It's still hot.
Okay,
Why did I
I'm
not
down.
know that?
Oh, because I'm crazy.
Jenna is crazy. She stalks the audio actors.
I do not suggest that. It really ruins it.
Yeah, she told me that.
either-
She's like, don't look at them.
Don't look
Oh.
at what Rasan looks like in real life. Just see-
Seriously?
Yeah, I'm
Don't
never
do
gonna
it.
do it. Don't
Okay.
do it.
Don't do
I've
it.
never
I'm
done
not.
it because I don't want to ruin them.
Don't. For the love of God, don't do it.
Oh, okay. Note to self.
God blessed him with a beautiful voice.
You can't have
You
it all.
want to go next?
Sure. So right now I'm doing the arc read of Cerulean Truth. I hope I'm saying that right. By Sorsha Ray.
Saoirse?
Sorsha. This one's pretty cool. I'm about 70% done and it's a little bit different. It's still got that romantasy fantasy world done a little bit differently. I feel a little bit more like Harry Potter influenced and a lot more like real world influences. Like she mentions different things. And I wanted to look her up and I didn't find too much information because the part that I read last night, the characters ended up in San Antonio, Texas.
Whoa.
I know. I was like, oh, this girl has to
Crazy.
be from Texas because she started talking about the river walk and like
Oh,
eating barbecue.
Hey,
I'm like,
I did that.
I'm like, either she's visited or she's
And
from
really loved it.
Texas. Like
Yeah.
they ended up in the Alamo. Like, I mean,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Oh, tell
So I need
Bob.
to-
Did
I
you
need to
tell
look-
Bob?
I did. He's like, okay. I'm like, why aren't you more excited about this?
Why don't you care?
I know. So that was really cool. So I'm excited to finish that one. Hopefully by the end of this week, I'll finish that one. Well, I guess tomorrow's the last day. But anyways,
Mhm.
and then what I'm listening to is Estranged Hymn, which is the number 2 in Rhapsodic, the Bargainer.
I was afraid to start it because I loved the first book of Rhapsodic so much that I didn't want to ruin it because I was afraid it wouldn't be as good. What do we think so far?
I'm 24% in, and I still love it. So
Okay, so I should
yes.
listen. Okay.
Yes. I would highly recommend this series. Like I'm really liking it. And I'm I'm gonna have to take a break. Like I'm not gonna do the third book just yet because I have like other things I need to listen to. But these two
Yeah.
were on Audible for free until the 31st. So
Hmm.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, good.
yeah.
I'll pause what I'm listening to right now and then go listen to that because I do have it free in my Audible library. And I loved Rhapsodic so much. And this is by the author Laura Thalassa.
Hmm.
I loved and this character, this book boyfriend, Desmond Flynn, so much. And you know how they say like morally gray? No, he's just straight black soul,
Yeah.
but
And we love
only
him.
because he
Ooh.
loves her so
Yeah.
much
Yeah.
that you're like everything he does is fine. It's
Yeah.
totally fine.
Yeah.
It,
Okay.
it's perfect. Like what we were talking about with Penn Cole is like he hates everybody but
Yeah.
her. He will let the world burn for her. And that's
Hmm.
why I was like, I loved book one so much that I'm afraid I'm not gonna like it anymore. But
No,
if you
it's
like
still,
it, I'll listen. Because
yeah, it's
God
still,
damn, I love him so much. I can't.
I
Okay.
still love him. So we're okay.
Okay.
I can
Fantastic.
only speak for 24% of it, but so far we're
That's
okay.
That's
fine.
true.
That's fine. That's fine. Perfect. Okay. So me, I'm not listening. I'm reading the ARC book that we got from J.E. Larson, A Trial of the Heart, which is part of the Valdor series, because I was obsessed with the first book that she gave us, um, Trial of Fate, and I needed to, he's like, you know how there's shadow daddies? He's an ice daddy. So I was
Ooh.
like, I
Hmm.
need to know what happens to Prince Daxton here. So I was super and like kind of like she was giving me kind of like strong like Aelin Galathynius and Feyre
Hmm.
Archeron vibes. So like a likable like female character like that, which it's hard for me to like a female main lead. And I liked her. So I was like, I really I'm dying for book two. So I'm in the middle of that. Then I'm also listening to Don't Judge Me People because I tried to listen to oh God, what was it? And I stopped. A Daughter of No Worlds.
Oh.
And because I like to read a physical book and then I like to listen to one in the car. And so I started listening to Dada of No Worlds because it was supposed to be dual voices. And I got like into chapter five and it was still just a female voice. And she made the character's voice sound like an idiotic 12-year-old. And it just was
Oh.
irking me so
No.
much. But like her regular like narration voice was normal, but then when she was supposed to speak in the voice of the female, it was like a squeaky, like pathetic, and she's supposed to be this strong person. I was like, I can't.
Oh,
And I
no.
was like, this is supposed to be a good series, so I'll just have to wait to read the
And
physical
read.
copy.
Yeah.
So then I switched to my Audible book, which is a hockey romance. That
Mm.
Oh,
Penn
you are
Cole
reading that?
Penn Cole loves a hockey romance. And our friend Megan was like, okay, if you want to dip your toe into hockey romance and you want to dip your toe into a why choose trope, try this series called Pucking Around. So I'm like, dumbest name ever.
Right?
But straight so far, it's like 90% smut and like 10% plot. So
Was it smut on ice?
no, we haven't gotten even to the fucking ice rink yet. But like,
There's no hockey yet.
There's no hockey and it's called okay.
she's a doctor of orthopedics, and they're all
Who
like
plays
just hot
hockey?
hockey players.
Oh,
And,
okay.
but yeah, so far it's really hot, and
All right.
but like, do we have a plot? Not yet. Um, and I might pause so I can listen to book two of Rhapsodic, but yeah, that's what I'm listening to.
Sounds good.
Interesting.
Danielle, how's your voice? Do you want me to do the outro or you got this?
Um, Go ahead. You could do it.
Okay.
We got to talk about next episode though.
Oh
Oh, right.
shit. So sorry. Go for it, Dina.
Sorry. It's still
Nope,
orange.
it's me. I scrolled down too far.
It's okay. So next episode, we're gonna actually take a small break for the holidays. So if you've missed anything, go back, catch up on any episodes, especially the Pencol one. That one was really fun and exciting, and we were so happy to interview her. So definitely check them out. We've also interviewed a lot of other authors too, so make sure to check them out as well. But in January, we're going to do the part two of Silver Flames. And then we're going to have another author interview with Victoria Taylor. Victoria is the author of a fantasy romance book called A Crown of Star and Ash. And she also has a novella out that's titled The Lady of Fire and Light. So also go check those out. Read them before so that when you listen to our author interview, you'll also get some of your questions answered.
Hmm. So make sure you follow us everywhere you listen. Please rate and review. It really matters. Follow us on Instagram. It's at Sips with a Suriel, Suriel. Click our link tree bio and follow us on Goodreads. We will also put our episodes each week on YouTube, so please subscribe and like. Same name, Sips with the Suriel. And please follow Creative Little Pill, which is our Dina, for all your podcast art or digital art needs. And okay, friends, keep reading to whatever end. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.